Come everyone, come gather round. I, your good friend Rouse Media, have a story to tell you. A few short years ago, Riley was just a young lad in middle school, trying to figure out what color he wanted his hair to be. Red, blonde, he tried a few different colors. They were all bad. Anyway, as the years progressed, Riley got to know a guy a few years ahead of him who had happened to start his own YouTube channel about his adventures in cars, titled Rust Bucket Redemption. Whether it was putting an exhaust on a Dodge Neon, or updates on his Edsel restoration, the flow of content had Riley hooked. So much so that Riley began working on his own YouTube channel and turning each piece of content into something car-related. And one day, all those years later, Riley gets a text reading, "Hey Riley, I got a proposition for you. Want to do a day where we film an episode of your channel with my 62 Mercury and do some photos?" To which Riley goes, "Oh heck yeah."
Hello, my name is Shiloh Taetz. This is my 1962 Mercury Monterey. Full name is a 1962 Mercury Monterey Custom two-door hardtop. It's got a 390 V8, which is 6.4 liters. It's pretty stock, but I like to keep it pretty much how it would have been back in 1962.
Ever since we met in high school, I've seen so many of Shiloh's wonderful whips. From his white-walled Dodge Neon, to his Plymouth Caravelle, and now this beauty. And with every addition to his roster over the years, his taste has started to shine more and more, like fresh paint after rolling out of a body shop.
So I really wasn't looking for this car. I was not in a good place financially, and yet this car popped up, and I thought, yeah, what a great reason to go into debt. So I got this car from Maple Ridge. It was an old fellow. He was selling it for his friend. Basically, this car was in a barn for 20 years. I think it was restored sometime in the late 90s or early 2000s. And I'm glad that it found me. You know, it's a burden at times, but it's great most of the time.
One of my favorite things about my relationship with Shiloh is our completely different tastes in cars. His keen interest in American machines pre-1980 is such a contrast to my interest in things like Japanese cars from the 90s.
Yeah, so growing up, there were always cars. My dad, he restores old cars. There was just always something new. Every year he'd buy something else. I never really finished the other projects. I always just watched him tinker, and one day I went out and said, "Dad, what are you doing?" And he showed me what he was doing, and then I got the bug from there. My plans for the future, I think I'm gonna sell it. You know, I tinkered with it. I did all the basic maintenance. After a car sits for 20 years, you know, you want to go through all the fluids and the gaskets and the plugs and spark plugs and points. It's pretty much right where I want it to be, where it's a reliable car. So now it's time to sell it.
Shiloh's love for his cars has always been sweet, but often his journey with a car can be cut short to move on to something different. Which begs the question, what's next?
So the next car on my agenda is currently sitting on the side of the road somewhere on Vancouver streets with a fried wiring harness, dead in the water. When I sell this one, I'm gonna use the profits towards fixing that one. It's a 62 Chrysler Saratoga. So same year, but different manufacturer, and she's in need of some love.
Each car is meant to serve its purpose in its own time. However, it's still unfortunate to know they won't be with us forever, which adds that much more love and care into our relationships with them. While Shiloh has been through many different cars, none of them have been without his love and admiration, which makes me so happy to know that with each one that comes and goes, they're still getting the attention they all deserve.